Hello, how y'all doing? It's evening where I am. 6 a.m. Wow. Yeah, it's almost 7 p.m. here. You're doing good. That's good to hear. I'm glad everybody is well. Yeah, it's almost 7 p.m. here. Where am I from? I'm from the East Coast. East Coast of the United States. It's almost 7 o'clock. I'll jump on in just a few moments. In Dubai. I've never been to Dubai. Thank you for that. I'm trying to grow the channel. Thank you for that subscription. Paj? Paja? You might have to phonetically put it in there for me. All right, let me get started real quickly. So, like I just said, I'm very new to YouTube, so I wanted to jump on live. That's my neighbor's loud motorcycle. That motorcycle is so loud. I wanted to jump on live just so that people could, understand me, figure out who I am, learn a little bit more about me. I'm going to make this a regular thing. So, some Thursdays, it might just be me talking about, what I have going on. And also, I might have some friends come with me. So, we want to talk about some things on air that we talk about behind the scenes. So, for those of you who are not subscribed that are here, I'm Ree. I'm a single mother of 3. I was married in the past. That didn't work out. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm also a yoga studio owner. So what my YouTube channel is really about is my life as an entrepreneur, a small business owner, my life as a single mother. And I say single mother because when they're with me, it's just me and them. But we do have support from, we do have support from their fathers. So what this channel is going to consist of is, pretty much all of my life. Today was a very interesting, and I posted a little something on my YouTube shorts, but today I had a lesson through my entrepreneurship journey that I never had been exposed to. So I was renting an office space at an event venue, and hey, how you doing? I was renting an office space at an event venue, and unfortunately, I got a phone call today that I had to move out abruptly, and it took me aback a little bit because, this place has had issues for some time in regards to like licensing and getting things they need to be, valid to run business in the city that I live. And for me, it was abrupt because I got a phone call this morning that I had to get everything out of there, everything that was in my office. We already were not in the building for at least the last month or so because the electricity had been cut off, and we thought it was like a real electrical issue with with the building. But it turns out it's, whoever we paid our money to, the landlord, was not supposed to be subleasing offices at all, nor were they legal in business. So that's one of those things that I learned about entrepreneurship this week. And that made me think back to like how many other businesses have I encountered that weren't like compliant, weren't legal to do business. So I just started doing a deep dive, and it really let me understand that, you know, in this world, people really do like put on a facade or like really perpetrate that they are one thing, and they don't even have other things in place. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna have a little story time. So we're gonna go back to the end of 2022. A friend of mine who is an artist had a studio space up in Chester, Pennsylvania, which isn't too far from where I live. And you know, he said, you know what, there's a better space closer to home. You know, let's check this out. So at the time, we were a creative collective. I was a yoga instructor. I also do really well with like reading documents and putting things together with logistics as far as events and stuff like that. Events, excuse me. So that was my portion on the team. I put together wellness events. Like I said, I'm a yoga instructor. So whether it had been meditation, I do a lot of journaling, a lot of rituals. Any of those things, I brought that to the team. So we moved from Chester, Pennsylvania to where our home state, our home city. So I started noticing things over time that led me to believe something wasn't right. Little things that would allude to the fact that this person was leasing the building themselves, and not the owner of the building. So what it turned into is, you know, we asked for like proper tenant agreements, leasing agreements. We asked to be, let's figure out what exactly is on, from a financial perspective, what is expected of us. So initially it was, we go there, we each have a couple of offices, we collectively run events together, and we helped out with the maintenance of the building. I mean, like we painted, we moved things, we removed things. It was a lot of DIY projects in this space, and we really put in sweat equity. We really put in our blood, sweat, and tears, you know, over these last few years. And, you know, for it to end the way it has ended, I'm kind of good. It's like a weight off of my shoulder. I'm moving on to other things, but back to the story. So like I said, I do have adult ADHD, ADD, and ADHD. I'm on the spectrum, as they say nowadays. Back when I was younger, they never, you know, autism spectrum disorder wasn't something that was spoke about. But my focus is, sometimes I'm super hyper focused, other times I'm all over the place. So let's reel it in back to the story. So back to 2022. We move into a space, November 2022. We do everything we need to do, or everything that is asked of us, to get this space, one, you know, ready to be open to the public, ready to hold events, things like that. So what we did is, you know, like I said, we painted, we moved things. By January of 2023, we had this big grand opening. Grand opening. It's an event space. Wellness happens here. At the time I had a permanent jewelry business. Jewelry businesses happened here. There was a black curated art gallery, like all of these things. Great, big, boom. That was January of 2023. By March of 2023, we were getting, again, by the fire marshal of our city, a cease and desist order was placed on the front door one day when I went to get something from the office. We were asked to leave immediately. Now that I'm learning, the person who I rented space from never even had a business license to officially open business or operate a business in our city. I should have walked away then. I should have just walked away then. But I didn't. I stayed for a little bit longer. And eventually, events were happening again. I was able to use the space to hold my permanent jewelry clients. Thought we were good. We get shut down again. They needed to add more bathrooms for the venue space. The roof leaked profusely. I'm talking every time it rained, my entire suite or my entire office was rained out. Every single time. I should have known then. I should have known that's why the good night, I should have known, or good morning, see you later. I should have known that was why the rent was so affordable. I should have known that was why the rent was so affordable. Nonetheless, because I just rented office space, a lot of the shutdowns didn't really didn't involve me. It didn't pertain to me. But you know, when they lock doors and we can't get back in, that's what really pertains to me. But I don't host events. I'm a part of them. I can help with the planning, but I don't host events to make money. So, you know, the event venue being shut down didn't hurt me, didn't make or break me. What did make or break me is when I had, you know, thousands of dollars in metals, gold, copper. Did I have silver? And some sterling silver that I use for my permanent jewelry making business. When I have my equipment that I use for my permanent jewelry making business that is rained out every single time it rains. And my only explanation is, oh, well, you know, things happen. Things happen. Things happen to your stuff, not my stuff. So, fasting forward to 2025, I've been slowly removing my stuff out of there little bit by little bit. I've been slowly, you know, removing myself from even being in the company of this owner. Sweet person. Let me start there. Business-wise, it ain't going so well. So that's put me in an interesting position today when I should be putting some final touches on. I should be putting some final touches on my on a grant that I need to submit to get some money for my yoga school. I spent my day moving things, finding space in my shed, finding space in my yoga studio, throwing things away. And it's unfortunate because I would never want this to happen to anyone. But I also see how this could have been avoided over the last 3 years. I also see how I should have walked away over the last 3 years. So, that's what I've dealt with. So it's made me think about that word collaboration or that word partnership a lot differently. Because when you're not aligned with someone or something, that word collaboration, that word partnership, it can be detrimental to you. Let's think about it. Think about if you're in a business relationship with somebody and your purpose is to help people and their purpose is to gain for financial reasons. Their purpose is to make money. They trying to make money, you trying to help the people. A lot of times they do not align. And looking back, I feel like I never even should have. Hey, whoever just checked in. I feel like I should have never even followed my friend. I guess we were a creative collective, but you know, sometimes everybody don't want to be a part of the team. Me being a part of the team. Oh, by the way, what I forgot to throw in there is the person that brought us to this space, the person who had this relationship with the owner / person who leased it to us, he checked out more than a year ago. So it's like, here you have us come to this space as a collective so that we can be creatives and continue to be entrepreneurs, and you check out. So now we're here with this person that you introduced us to, being done all kinds of crazy on the back end. I don't understand. It's been a really hard day for me. Like, I didn't need this today. I really didn't. Today, I just wanted to focus on a grant that I need to turn in. My son was going to do some content for the business's Instagram page. I do have a son who's a senior in high school. So he's like learning how to work like business communications through like MailChimp and stuff. We didn't have time to be packing up an entire office and moving it today. I still got stuff in my bag. Little Betty is still full of stuff that's supposed to go in that office. So I had to make a hard pivot today. Then I also want to know, like, what happened to the money that was being paid? I found out they were doing things like booking weddings and wedding receptions and canceling the day before. Even though I have nothing to do with any of that, people are looking at me for their refunds. Like, hey, so-and-so not answering the phone. Hey, can you get me in touch with so-and-so? Like, I ain't got no money to give you. I have no money to give anybody. I have my own business's debts that I need to pay. My own personal debts that I need to pay. I don't have money for anybody. And, you know, today made me think of a few different things. I am grateful for this lesson because I didn't plan to learn it. I'm grateful to be able to have the time that I did have in that space to be able to enhance my permanent jewelry business and to be able to, you know, make another means to pay for, you know, things with my family. I'm grateful for some of the relationships and the connections that I made while in that space. I learned a valuable lesson in entrepreneurship, contract. I learned another valuable lesson in entrepreneurship, pay for my services. That barter stuff doesn't work because guess what? A lot of times in the barter, I hold up my end of the bargain, but the person that's supposed to be bartering with me did not. The barter only goes if it goes like this. You give me, I give you. You give me, I give you. You give me, I give you. That's the only time the barter really works. In this situation, that didn't happen. What else did I learn? Don't work with your friends. I said it. Don't work with your friends. But I also learned that I have to take accountability. I also know that if I'm standing in my truth, which has been a practice for me to continue, you know, one of our yoga principles, Satya, like standing in my truth means I have to look at myself and say, girl, you should have been going. So the fact that I stayed there and continue to engage with this space that had already been shut down 2 other times, I did look in the mirror and say, you know what? Being shut down a 3rd time and you having to immediately run and figure out ways to get your stuff out of that space should have been the wake-up call that I needed a long time ago. But today it was super urgent. So I'm behind on a little bit of work. I'm behind on some editing. I am teaching a healing-centered yoga class starting October the 6th in studio and online. I'm working on a manual for that. Like there are things. I had 2 meetings with teaching artists that one is going to help me with like how we add music into healing, and the other with how we add art into healing. 2 meetings, 2 interviews that I had to cancel for today. I was supposed to work out today. I was supposed to get a cupping massage, which is going to help with my lymphatic system. Yeah, none of that happened today. Honestly, I looked up and it was 4 p.m. and I'm like, what did I eat today? Half of a coffee and a bottle of water. That's what I ate and drink today. So I went to get something to eat, even though my son and I are supposed to be doing this, no spending money on takeout challenge. It's like, how can I not? I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. We've been running around all day. So I think the moral of this story is, my daughter's trying to come outside. I'm about to wrap this up. So I think the moral of this story is, be careful. Be careful when you are going into any kind of a business relationship that is built off of a barter. Be careful when leases and contracts aren't signed. But also, let's take accountability for the part that we play when we're done wrong, whether it's in relationship, friendship, business, whatever. I think a huge part of my journey is being able to recognize, what part I play when things don't go the way that I imagine, or when things go awry, if you will. Think about the part that I played. Don't y'all see I'm all live? Like, what's up with them? So yeah, I think everybody that tuned in tonight, we are going to do this again next Thursday. But it is Thursday night football. Yeah. And my Philadelphia Eagles play in about an hour. So I gotta set up and get myself together. So we'll do another story time, whether it's about my journey through entrepreneurship and being a yoga studio owner, or things related to mom life, or just, shoot the shit. Maybe I'll roll a blunt or something next time. But yeah, I am ReeTheYogini, and this is Hedera Hills. I thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you next Thursday at 7. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We could all be friends. Peace and love.